Good evening, friends. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Rome 2, and I couldn't pass this one up because it had Carthage in the replay. Had to do it. It is on Nemeta, which is basically the Rome 2 version of the Barfy Flatlands, but this map is pretty popular because it gives equal ground to both players. Now this was sent in, well, I won't tell you who sent this one in actually. Well, you'll know because you'll see which faction sent it in, but I won't tell you what it's all about just yet. We'll kind of discuss it as it goes along. And then you'll see who's going to win or whatever else like that. And we've got, for Epirus, 3 mercenary Etruscan hoplites. Interesting unit here. You'll see solid armor, good health, good base morale for their price range. Illyrian levies, only 40 morale, but again, a very cheap unit. And decent return potential for such a unit. Thessalian Cavalry, a fantastic shot cavalry. Always wished that Carthage would have a unit similar to this that would actually set their cavalry apart, but they don't. Royal Peltast. Hey, don't I have a whole bunch of fans in the chat all the time that are talking about Royal Peltast for the win? So there you go, Royal Peltast. So clearly, Epirus is going to win this battle. And then we have a mercenary Indian war elephant and a couple of slingers up front. So Epirus is kind of subpar when it comes to skirmishers. They're okay. And their infantry is pretty subpar, but they have good light or heavy shot cavalry for fairly cheap, and then they have good support unit in the form of elephants. Let's check out the Carthaginian army. 2 late Libyans up front. I see 2 mercenary Balearic slingers, a general's bodyguard. That is a mercenary noble fighter, 1 on each flank. And then I see 3 Samnite warriors in the center, supported by Gallic warriors. Nice combination of defense for the Samnite warriors and charge for the Gallic warriors. Okay-ish charge. It's not spectacular, but it's pretty good. And then in terms of cavalry, 3 Carthaginian cavalry. So Carthage is going to have their work cut out for them in terms of cavalry. And here comes the Thessalians. Might as well push forward, because Carthage is going to have a hard time defending against this. They do go into kind of a trying to brace formation here. They're able to stop the Thessalians. So good play. Here's some more Thessalians charging in, trying to make Alexander proud, let his legacy live on. Carthaginian cavalry trying to fight bravely here too, so let's see how that plays out. The mercenary noble fighters are right behind this, so the Thessalian cavalry is going to want to get out of here, take a few kills and flee. But here comes some mercenary Etruscan hoplites, very cool looking unit. And then they're followed up by some Illyrian levies, who are going to punch in with their axes here. They're going to do some a slight bit of armor piercing damage. So already a big engagement going down on this flank. Well, there's a mercenary Italian swordsman in there that I missed. They're kind of like a lightweight Hastati. Alright, so here comes the Carthaginian cavalry trying to disrupt the main line of Epirus, met by a Thessalian cavalry, which will definitely get the better of that engagement, but probably trying to protect the Italian swordsman. Now that was lucky. This Thessalian cavalryman did not have a proper charge, and it was stopped by the Italian swordsman, whereas normally it would have decimated them pretty heavily. Noble fighters are going to be tough to crack, the elephants are going to be necessary, and the Balearic slingers are going to have to try and work on the elephants. But they've also got to watch out, because the cheaper slingers, if they're not dealt with, could do a lot of damage to the Balearics. So let's see what's going to happen. Looks like he's going to have some cavalry try to... No, they're not going to bog down the elephants. We've got the Thessalian cavalry back here in the Royal Peltast. The elephants are kind of making their way towards the combat. They stop for a moment. They're taking fire from the slingers. The mercenary Samnite warriors charging in. I don't know if their javelins were targeted at the elephants. They certainly needed to be. So now the elephants are in, and they're probably going to do a fair bit of damage. Unless these mercenary Gallic warriors or something can get over and put some javelins down. The fear is real. The Carthaginian lines getting ravaged by elephants. Hannibal would be rolling over in his grave for allowing this to happen, because this was his job. But the elephants in, doing the damage that you would want to see them do. The key unit, the noble fighter over here, getting overwhelmed. It has a ton of kills, but it's also up against a ton of troops. Elephants still not even running berserk. 120 kills and climbing fast. Over here, Etruscan hoplites helping to pin down some cavalry, though the mercenary noble fighters here already 139 kills and climbing fast. Though it is fairly cheap units that they're being thrown against. The Royal Peltast can now enter the fight, and it's going to come in against some Samnite warriors. It's going to get ganged up on by Italian swords and the Samnite warriors. Definitely capable of doing good in this fight, and it should do quite well. The Carthaginian general now is getting wrecked by Thessalians. Elephants very alive with 159 kills, haven't lost a single unit model. Carthage is going to be somewhat helpless to stop them at this point, because they had no cavalry advantage. And now the lack of javelins and the lack of skirmishers will be felt by Carthage. Looks like Carthage trying to do something here. Ooh, point blank javelin throw. Got a few in there. You can see that elephant got its side pierced. But the elephants not running amok, still haven't lost a unit model, and these Samnite warriors are going to pay the price for irritating the elephants at such close range. Let's take a look at some of these other fights close up here. Etruscan hoplites duking it out with some sweet-looking Samnite warriors. Samnite warriors and Etruscan hoplites both look awesome. At least I like them a lot. This mercenary noble fighter over here has racked up 200 kills and is not going down anytime soon. The Royal Peltast general has now racked up 90 some odd kills, climbing quickly, cutting its way through a Samnite warrior, though it takes losses a little bit fast because their armor is, hang on, one of their stats is not ideal here if I remember right. Their damage stat is not as good as some of these other sword units, but it has very nice attack and pretty solid armor. Very nice morale as well. And of course lots of javelins, which can't beat that with the stick. Elephants 257 kills. That's still climbing. Let's watch the Royal Peltast get some good action in over here versus the Carthaginians. Epirus has a pretty cool color scheme going on too. Carthage and Epirus both have some really cool looking units. Fun factions. This is definitely looking like it's going to fall in favor of Epirus, though. This noble fighter out here, though, has done spectacularly. It's about to pick up its second chevron from all the slaughtering, but obviously it's not going to be any match up against the whole rest of that army. That's a fun replay. It's fun to see Epirus in action, a faction you don't see played too often. Of course, Carthage is no power faction either. But this was actually sent in by Johan, who has sent us replays before, and he was basically wanting you to see that he likes the combination of the levies with the mercenary Etruscan hoplites. Feels like both of them in and of themselves, not necessarily spectacular units, but they combine interestingly. Decent morale for their price, stuff like that. They can get some work done. Look at that, 100 kills on this Illyrian levy. Again, can't shake a stick at that. That's pretty good. Well, I guess you could shake a stick at it, but I'm not sure why you'd want to, and I'm not sure why I used that phrase, but I did. So, fun game. Hope you all enjoyed that one. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I'll see you all in Rome 2 again in the near future.